It's difficult finding the right partner, let alone finding out if you're compatible with money. So, how do you know if you're financially compatible? We are going to count the ways in this video. And stick around because number 5, I know you're going to like. I am Tamoa Danielle, and we are going to discuss 5 signs that make you compatible with your partner. We're also going to talk about some red flags so that you can make sure that you have aligned yourself with the right partner. Here we go. Number 1, shared financial goals. So look, I know a lot of people don't want to talk about this right at the beginning, but I always say talk about it at the beginning. How do you know what your shared financial goals are with someone that you're wanting to partner with, that you're wanting to marry, that you're wanting to spend the rest of your life with? The thing is, you have to be able to communicate to find out what the goals are. Do they even have financial goals when it comes to saving? Things like spending. Do they want to buy a home? What about actually building a family? So I know it sounds weird, but I have talked to so many couples who really didn't even delve into the fact of whether they wanted children or what that looked like once they got married. It sounds hard to believe. I think that sometimes people want to, just please another partner, right? So maybe the topic of having a family and purchasing homes and things like that come up, and one person may be really, really into it and that's what they want. They're really aligned with their goals. And then the other person is not sure, but they don't speak up, right? They've thought about it, they've considered it, but they're really not being honest and transparent with their partner. So then what happens is they get into a marriage or a partnership and they're both going different ways when it comes to building a family, when it comes to saving, when it comes to spending. These things have to be talked about at the beginning. It is so important to ask questions. We ask each other about, what kind of foods we like. We ask each other maybe about our family history, how we grew up, how many siblings you have, all of that. I call it surface information, right? But deep down, heart to heart, nitty gritty, things like spending, our mindset around money, our finances are things that are constantly looked over in relationships. So you have to ask questions like, do you have any money? Like literally, do you have any money saved? What are your thoughts on spending? What are your thoughts on vacations? How do you manage your finances? What does that look like for you? Do you have goals? Are there things that you want to do to build wealth? All of these things have to be discussed and talked about when you decide to go into this partnership with this person. Number 2, transparency and open communication. So like we just talked about, communication is everything. But we have to communicate about our history with finances, the things that happened to us when we grew up. This will help our partners determine how our mindset is when it comes to money, when it comes to spending, when it comes to saving. Do we come from a lack mindset because maybe we grew up and it wasn't enough there? So we like to hold on to the money, right? We're even worried about savings. We have to see all the money in the bank account. We have to have access to the money. So these are things that are important, especially when you think about investing in your future, because when you invest money, this is not money that you necessarily have access to, right? You're putting it away. It's building compounding interest. You're doing all of these things to build for yourself and your family. But if the other person can't see that due to how they grew up, then this is something that definitely needs to be discussed, because if it doesn't get discussed, it will cause so much contention, irritability, quiet, ignoring times from one of the partners, right? Because one person will think that we need to save the money, we need to see the money, we don't need to invest it. Somebody might take our money. They have all of these thoughts because of the mindset of lack and not understanding the importance of saving and investing and being able to grow your money. So these things are so important to talk about and to really be transparent and vulnerable when it comes to our mindsets around money. And because one partner grew up different from the other, it's not a good or bad thing. It's just this is how they grew up. This is their mindset around money. So the education on that is so important, and to be empathetic, to be compassionate with your partner when you are unpacking and thinking about the financial trauma and all the things that have happened, because you don't want it to become an issue where you're arguing and bickering back and forth just because of how you think about money. It is important that both of you get to the point where you're on the same page and you're building and growing together. And that looks different for every couple. I often talk about my financial love covenant because it sets the stage for you to be able to listen to each other, actively listen to each other and hear what the other person is saying about what their goals are, about their mindset around money, about the way that it makes them feel when they talk about money. Because some people, it may bring them anxiety, it may make them nervous, it may, set the tone where they're thinking about things that have happened related to their financial trauma. So we have to be sensitive about all of that. If you would like the financial covenant, the link is in the description. It is important that you're setting yourselves up for success. And so the open communication is important, but also give your partner grace, give yourselves grace, because normally no one talks to us about how to communicate when it comes to money, especially as a couple. So write down your negotiables, your non-negotiables, the things that may cause you fear or apprehension when it comes to money, and really, really be transparent and open when you share these things with your partner. Number 3, we are going to get into some red flags. So every relationship faces challenges, but it really is about how you conquer the challenges, how you get through the difficulties when it comes to communicating, the way that you handle the conversations when it comes to money. Look, we cannot be petty, right? It's not about who knows more, who knows less. It's not about that. It's about actually leveling each other up so that we can have those tough conversations and really be mature and have emotional intelligence when it comes to our relationships. So you may have one partner who loves to spend, who may be a little bit impulsive with money. And then you may have one partner who loves to save, who may be more frugal with money. There is no right or wrong. The whole point is we want to make sure that we are on a safe playing field. We may have situations where both partners want to basically just avoid talking about money altogether and avoid talking about their budget, avoid talking about their debt, avoid just talking about paying bills in general. The other red flag is when one partner is doing the bulk of the heavy lifting when it comes to the finances. And I'm not talking about where one partner makes more money than the other. I'm talking about the partner that handles all of the bills, all of the finances, knows exactly what's going on, and they're not communicating that to their spouse or their partner. And the spouse or the partner is totally okay with that. That is not fair for one person to bear the weight of everything that's going on financially. No doubt this will cause some serious silent treatment, some slamming of doors, some arguing about things that don't even have to do with money, but really are about money. Come on, y'all know how we do. You know how we do. So these are things that we have to eliminate when it comes to the red flags in our relationship, when it comes to our money mindset. I know that with me, when I was in my marriage, I was the person that handled everything. And this came from my mindset, of course, about how I grew up, because I wanted to control everything. I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what was going on with our finances. Now, that's not a wrong thing to want to know with your finances, but where I made the mistake was I wasn't sharing it with my partner. And my partner was okay with it because they didn't have a past that, made them feel like they had to control everything, or have to know everything about their finances. And it made me feel good that my partner trusted me, but I should not have just wanted that level of trust. It should have been me having also the level of trust with my partner and entrusting him with being able to handle the situations that were going on with our finances. Because what happened is when things got tough and we had to file for bankruptcy and things were going awry and someone lost their job and all of these things that were going on, we weren't discussing any of it. And so I felt like it was my responsibility to make everything right again, to fix it on my own. But not only was that deception that I was having with my partner, it was also a self-deception, and I was not being fair to myself. So please, 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 if you don't do anything else, everything is workable, everything is fixable. Start communicating with your partner regarding your finances. Like I said, you have to give yourself grace. You have to go in there nice and easy with each other. You have to write down your fears and apprehension and all of those things when it comes to your mindset regarding money. So number 4, we are focusing on building a financial partnership. And the reason why I use the word partnership is because whether or not you think so, your marriage, your relationship is a partnership. It is a business partnership. Yes, it is a love partnership. It is all of those beautiful things about the reason why you're together, the things you love about each other, but it's also a business partnership. It is contractual. So why not put things in place to make your business run smoothly, to make your household run smoothly, so that you all can be able to lead one another? Everyone has their preferences on who's the leader in the relationship, right? Whether it's the guy, whether it's the woman, it doesn't matter. Those things really don't matter. What matters is the overall partnership. If you are the leader and you respect your other partner's ways that they lead you with the relationship, that doesn't mean that you get to take your hand off the steering wheel and not know what's going on. Because what happens is a blame sets in and all of these other dynamics come up. So it is very important that we set up our relationship like a business partnership. We are going to do things like schedule monthly meetings. You can even schedule weekly meetings if you have to. But we want to make sure that we're understanding the progression of our finances and exactly what's going on with the other person. We want to make sure that our goals align, what we're doing for the future, how we're investing, how we're taking care of our families. This is not about nitpicking or, checking off the list. Oh, I looked at the checking account or, the debit card and I see you bought this and this and this. That is not what this is about. This is really making sure that we are allocating the things that we need and the things that we want when it comes to spending, when it comes to our future. This is about checking in with your partner to make sure that your partner is okay financially, because sometimes we don't want to talk about when things aren't going so great with us. And we may feel a lot of shame around that, especially as men. When you want to be the provider and the caretaker and all of these things that you may traditionally feel like you're responsible for doing, it is important to check in with each other, to really do a mindset check-in when it comes to our mindset around money and our finances. When you approach money as a team, it is no longer my finances, your finances. Having these meetings is a simple way of developing a teamwork attitude. It is so important that you both align with your mindset and your thoughts around money. Look, I always say this, but we all know that financial issues is one of the top 4 reasons why people end up in divorce, why couples break up. So there's got to be something to that. And I know that the biggest reason that something is happening because of that is because we're not talking. We are simply not talking. And the reason why we're not talking is nobody wants to talk about money. It's like the taboo situation. But if we have a lot of money, then, I'm sure we don't have a problem spending it and talking about it. We have to be proactive when it comes to our finances. I speak it, I live it, again, and again, when it comes to your household and wanting peace in your household. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you can talk about your finances, I feel like you can talk about anything at that point. It's almost like getting undressed in front of the person and just being like, this is me naked, this is me vulnerable, this is me being transparent. You have to literally shed the financial veil. You have to take it off and you have to really dig in deep if you want your partnership to be meaningful, to last, to be loving, to have joy. So being able to turn your dreams into a reality is the goal of this. So number 5 is where you're celebrating all of your wins together. Paying off debt, having a savings goal that you actually hit, being able to do the things that you want to do, whether it's you're going into business together and you've gotten funding to do that because guess what? You paid attention to your credit. You saved money to do these things. You invested money. You saved for a big vacation. You saved for your child's education. Whatever it is, you've done something in a partnership that will totally get you to the next level. Making sure that you communicate with your partner is not just about your finances. It is about building trust. It is about being transparent. It is about being vulnerable. It is about your intimacy with each other. And I'm just going to put it out there, right? Because our intimacy, like our touch, the way that we speak to each other, the language that we use, it is so important when it comes to loving the other person and being able to talk about your finances, your fears around money, and the way that you all want to set the foundation for the landscape of your financial blueprint. It will help you level up in so many ways when it comes to your relationship. So let's get into the credit gem of the day. Having a high credit score for both partners is a huge key to being able to unlock so many financial doors, whether that's being able to get a lower rate on a mortgage, a car, being able to have access, like I said, to business funding if you're wanting to build a business. It opens up so many things that you can do as a couple. So make sure that you're partnering up and educating each other and finding out what you need to do to level up your personal credit, to make sure that your credit can match each other's credit so that you can build faster and grow faster together. And don't forget, if you have any questions about credit, you need help with credit repair, my link is in the description. If you like this content, make sure you subscribe, like, share, comment, and ring that bell because that lets you know when we have new videos and when we have new content out. I want you to always remember that you are your greatest value. You are your greatest asset. Take care.